Welcome back to another episode of this year's Subaru Giveaway Build Series. Today, we're going to be finishing up the rear bushing install on our 2.5 RS thanks to some parts from Whiteline, and then once we've got it all back together, get the Subaru out for its first time on a track. Joining friends from the Porsche Club of America and SECA, I'll take the Subaru out for its first autocross challenge, discovering how far the car's already come and some of the things we definitely need to focus on next. So for now, sit back, relax, and make sure you're subscribed to secure your chance to win the car when it comes around to SEMA this fall. We've got a lot to cover in this video, from the install itself to 2 full track days over in Emmett, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you like the content, make sure that you're dropping a like, comment what you like the most, and make sure you hit that bell icon so you're the first to know when new content comes out. Alright guys, welcome back. If you guys didn't catch episode 1, you should go back and watch that first so you have context for what we're doing. Sidebar to the intro, but this is actually perfect. Apparently, we've got license plates. Yeah. Sweet. So if you guys are new here, welcome. And if you guys are returning, welcome back to part 2 of episode 1 of the Subaru build series. Behind me here is my 2001 Impreza RS. And in the last video, we announced that this car this year is going to be built up, and then we're going to be giving it away in Las Vegas at the end of this year at SEMA. I promise you that wasn't scripted. My mom legitimately just showed up with the mail and the license plate was in there, but that's perfect because that means we can throw those on in this video as well. If you caught part 1 that went up last week on the Subaru install, we took the car out, got a baseline testing done on it, and then after the fact, we did the front bushing essentials kit install from Whiteline suspension. Now, we're not done with this, and before we can go out and do the next set of testing to see how far we've improved past our baseline, we've got to do a rear bushing kit, and that's what I'm going to try and do tonight into tomorrow. Oh, I forgot you guys can hear me in here. Pretty sure these are for the Subaru. Yeah. Check this out. Hell yeah. First things first, now that the car's up, I grabbed a red paint pen and we're going to mark all of the cam bolts for the alignment. Even though we're going to have the whole thing realigned when we're done with the front and the rear install, this will help us not have to fight it as hard putting it back together and get it close to where it was. Update on the game plan. We're going to take the Subaru and put it basically where the Falcon is. We got the cars moved, so let's continue. All right, so underneath the rear of the Subaru here, let's go like that. Let's go like that. We're going to be dropping this off the rear differential, these to get our control arms, lateral arms, there and there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus here, all that we got to drop so that we can press the bushings out of it. 3-ish seconds now into breaking things loose, and we found the first hurdle, which is, can you see it? Right, okay, yeah, right here. This is directly in line with our exhaust. And while this isn't necessarily the stock exhaust, it's still in the way, so I'm gonna pop the exhaust hangers off and I can unbolt it right up there. So in the meantime, should be able to basically straight pipe this to get to this control arm bolt, and then we'll be able to get to the one on the back as well, hopefully. Progress update. It is now 10:15 and we've got one arm out. Two arms out.
We got to take all this stuff off of it first before it drops.
Yep. And then repeat on that side, and we're fighting a little bit harder on the bolts over there. But on top of that, to have more space to play, the car is now pretty much exhaust deleted, which is fine, because right there is a new exhaust, which we're not doing right now. We're going to leave it pretty much straight off of the primary cat for a little bit because it sounds really funny. So that's the end for tonight, and we'll pick up in the morning. Good morning. It is the next day at, I think, 9:30 a.m. right now, and picking up where we left off last night with the rear bushing install. We got the control arms on one side dropped, the other side, one of the bolts is kind of seized in there. So we're gonna have to get a little bit creative on how to drop that other side out. But with the lateral arm and two pieces of the rear control arm that we did get out, we went ahead and pressed the first set of old bushings out, which are sitting right here. So this is what was sleeved in there. And we got those out on one side. So once I have this other side out, I'm going to show you guys how we use the Whiteline bushing press kit that came with these front and rear bushings, or that we got with these front and rear bushings. On these rears, it was actually super convenient to have and super easy to use. So I'm going to show you guys how that works as soon as I get this other side out. So sitting on the table in front of me, we have the Whiteline bushing press kit, and we have a couple of the actual press, I guess they're just presses that we're going to use, plus the spacers, rod, and one of the rear control arms. So I went ahead and we took a razor blade and trimmed the edge that we're going to be pushing through, just get a little bit of that rubber out of the way. And then we got the same thing on this one. So we'll cut that and press that through. But I'm gonna table assemble this one and show you guys how this press kit works. And in the kit we have even sizes and odd sizes, and these all basically sleeve onto their respective press cups. Okay, so here's how this plays out with the whole bushing kit. We've got the press sizes that we need. We've got the rod, so I'm gonna start taking that, dropping the even spacer onto it, and then taking the 4. From there, I made sure that I got a smaller rod so that it could actually sleeve through this metal piece of the bushing. And that drops on over the top of that. The odd one, the odd base, and then this threads into the top. Once they tighten, start to compress. So I've got a big crescent wrench and a 24mm socket, which fits over that. So I'll put this one here, this on the bottom. And as I start to tighten it down, assuming everything's square, larger bushing or larger press is going to take this and it's going to sleeve through it, and it should push that bushing out with it. So I'll spin these two in. That is now all the way in there. So I'll spin this back out, and we should have the bushing all the way removed from the control arm so we can press the new one in. There we go. And we are with these 25-year-old bushings pressed out on both sides, we're going to take these out to the side yard, sandblast them, throw a coat of primer and paint on them, and then from there we'll come back and press the new bushings in once these are cleaned up. So this is definitely a testament to the versatility of the bushing press kit when you can actually get it to fit the much larger bushing here that you can see in my hand. This big rubber barrel we managed to press out using a 8, and I think this is a 7 or a 5, 8 and a 5. But we got this out, got these out, a few more to go.
3:28 a.m.
It is 8:30 or 9 p.m. The following day after the last day, after the previous day of what we were doing. And on the rear, we've still been going. And Harmon just got this out, sitting on the ground here. It's the rear subframe crossmember is what we're calling it. It could be called something else, but if it isn't, whatever. Which means that now, underneath the car, everything on the suspension side that we have to press new bushings into has been dropped. What we have left on here now is that bushing on the back of the spindle. And then at the front, the carrier brace that goes across, there's two more bushings all the way up there that we have to capture. But if we roll over to this, you can see these. These are one of the sets that we're going to be replacing, and these are just trashed. So those are going to go bye-bye. So on this, we're going to press these two, and then these. And this guy is going to be using a hydraulic press to do it. Because the metal collar that's on the outside edge of these has actually been a little bit problematic on some of the bushings just because it's so old that it's basically seized in there. So one of the control arms Harmon took over to the shop to press yesterday, and he said he had to come up with 4 metric tons to get it to actually break loose. And the odds of us getting that by hand are pretty slim. But we'll get all those out, and then from there, we can go in installing everything and put it back in the car so we can get this thing back on the ground. So one of the important things about keeping these projects honest as we're communicating what we're doing to you guys is showing you some of the hiccups that we're experiencing. So we went over to Harmon's shop to try and press out the outrigger bushings and those middle crossmember bushings. We got one of them out. We got the 2 out of the midsection of the crossmember. But these outrigger bushings, the metal collar on the outside has this weird flange on it. So here's what we're kind of fighting right now. On the underside of this bushing, that little lip is part of, or we believe it's part of the old bushing. So we can't actually press it out because we can't get anything on the back side of it to get it to push through. So we press the rubber out, and now I've got a Sawzall, and I'm literally going to cut, and take a screwdriver and try and bend this in off of the body of the metal so that we can get the actual collar out and then approach that one the same way. With that out and that out, these 4 are all ready for the new Whiteline bushings, which will be the last bushings other than the 2 that are sitting in the bottom of the rear spindles. The transmission crossmember and the transmission outrigger gave us a bit of trouble getting the bushings in. Ended up having to try 2 or 3 different hydraulic presses at different shops to be able to push everything in. But across the new press that we just got and the one that we used at Harmon's shop, and getting pretty creative, we got the bushings in that. So these 2 bushings right here replaced in there, and the 2 on the outsides of the outrigger done. So now all we have to do is throw crossmember, then outrigger, then the lateral arms, control arms back in the car and reassemble the rear end. So this is really the point of this rear bushing install past the crossmember and the outrigger, is these pieces. And as you can see on all 3 of them, both ends have new bushings in them. The other side of that's already underneath in the car, but we reconditioned these, repainted them, and with new bushings on both sides, we can expect a lot better ride quality out of the GC8 once we throw these back underneath. So it's 6:15 a.m. right now, and I am getting ready to go jump in the car because today we're doing our first autocross event. All right, let's try that again. Good morning, everybody. It is like 6:35 a.m. right now. We're in the Panamera, rolling over to Emmett, to the mill for our first time autocrossing. I don't know what to expect. We're gonna be autocrossing the Subaru both today and tomorrow. So I'm gonna take you guys along with me. I'm just gonna be on the iPhone because, you know, this is YouTube and I can do what I want. So let's head over to Emmett. You guys are coming with me. See you when you get there.
Or you need to go fix the phone. They'll stop there if
We are here at the mill. Drop the trailer, get the car out. First thing we had to do was figure out where the registration was. Now we're in what I guess we're considering the paddock. 2.5 RS right there. This is also shared with PCA, so the Porsche Club. Tons of Porsches here as well, which is awesome. Car's here, so I'm gonna go register. Okay, check-in is done. Now, little self checklist evaluating the car, looking for if there's any cracks in the wheels, if the exhaust has any leaks, if the engine looks like it's not shaking when you're revving it. All of the basic things you want to make sure are good on a vehicle before you take it out on a track for an event like this. So we've already gone through, fully checked off everything on the 2.5 RS, and we've got the Panamera Executive here as well as a backup car, so I might run a little bit in both. Who knows? This is a 2-day thing, so we're just gonna go as we go. But the sun's coming up, there's Porsches everywhere. We'll touch back. We're about to go out for the first pass of the day. Just get a feel for the car. Got the lid ready to go. Gonna start this thing up. All the other cars are starting. We're warm it up. The other cars are already started, so this first pass is just about understanding the course, figuring out what's going on there, not pushing the car very hard. And then once it warms up a little bit, because it's still only like 40 degrees out, once it warms up, we'll start to push it a little bit more and I'll get the action cam going. Okay, so we're not running yet, but I've got the lid on in the car, just waiting for an instructor to jump in here with me. But we're lined up, all the other cars are ready to go. She ditched me, I'm all solo now.
Oh, I know.
Sorry, I know my window doesn't go down.
I can tell it's missing parts.
What? No. It'll be good eventually.
Yeah, all right, up you go, hon.
Thank you. So as we launched the car for this fourth round on the track for the morning session, the biggest thing that we were struggling with at this point with the Subaru is now that we had done front and rear bushings, the car was a lot stiffer than it was prior. I was getting way more feedback out of the steering wheel. The car was actually cornering a little bit better, but as you can see on this tight and banked track, without having sway bars in there, there was still quite a bit of body roll, even as you see as I'm going through the slalom section. So we were fighting that down to the point where when I was taking some of the tighter corners, it was still rolling so much that the fender was actually tapping the track. So we ran this morning session. I did as best as I could as I was going through the car, pulling it through the gears, using the brakes as best as I could, but fighting that body roll, I was trying to not accidentally send the car sideways. Woohoo! I'll check my time on that later, but that was round 4. Okay, so Summer has my time. What's my time? You gotta come in here and say it to the camera.
Okay. Oh, 44.1. That's your best time.
Yeah!
Let's go!
Found it. Hell yeah. 44.1.
310 is almost faster.
Hell yeah.
Nice job.
Boom. Alrighty guys, it is the afternoon at this point, about 1 o'clock, and we're swapping into the Panamera for the second half of the day. So we're gonna run this until tomorrow, where hopefully I'll have a rear sway bar on the Subaru. I kind of pushed it as hard as I could this morning, but there's just so much body roll right now that there's not really much more I can do to it. So just to practice some more skill driving, we're gonna jump back in the Panamera, go have some fun in that. I hate soft tops.
Soft top Porsches are dumb.
Soft tops, you're stupid.
Yeah, this car's better. I'd rather drive a 4-door.
Stretched wheelbase.
Yeah. What year is this?
14, I think?
God, oh my God, there's so many buttons.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Way longer. Come on.
Oh,
Good girl.
that's good. That's good. Get on the power. You gotta hold it and let it bleed out. Just hold it. Nice.
Sweet. All right, it's the end of day 1. We did 4 runs in the Subaru, 5 runs in the Panamera Executive, and here's kind of the breakdown of what happened. So the Subaru, first run was just a shakedown, about a 55 second. Then across the other 3, 47, 47, and 46. Then with the Panamera, ran a 38, 38, 38, 37 bump. But that's the end of day 1. More tomorrow. Okay, in all honesty, my game plan for day 2 was to have sway bars in the Subaru, but we didn't have the time and the tools needed to make that install happen overnight before the next day. So I took the Panamera back out one more time to get a couple more reps in. Knowing that we had an upcoming event in Blackfoot to go autocross the Subaru in a week or 2, we just waited until then so that we could get sway bars under it. Day 2 of the autocross event just wrapped up, and I stayed in the Panamera again all day today. Basically what went down is, with the Subaru not having sway bars on the front and the rear yet, and us wanting to make sure we get sway bars that properly fit the vehicle, on a bank track like this, doing slalom and tight turns and everything else, the body was rolling so much. Even with the new bushings, the body roll was still there, and the body was rolling so much on day 1 that the bumper was actually dropping into the bank of the track. So I wanted to avoid that, just for the sake of, not destroying a car before we ever get a chance to make it good. And we had the Panamera. So ran this thing all day today. It handled incredibly well, all things considered, being an extended wheelbase 4S with 315s in the back. It was fun. And that's the end of day 2. That was my first autocross event. All in all, I think there's a million things I could be working on. There's a million new things I've learned from the instructors and drivers here. So thank you to everyone, if anyone ever watches this, that was at this event that helped me out. And autocrossing is way different than off-roading. So yeah, it was a blast. That's the end of this. So see ya. So this marks the end of this video. Again, thank you guys all for watching. This is the first time I actually took the car, or any car for that matter, out on an autocrossing track. So obviously I didn't film as much as I necessarily would have wanted to, but I learned a ton, met a bunch of cool people, and I'm super excited now that we have the sway bars for a video coming out next week, where we get to push the Subaru a hell of a lot harder. Excited to share that with all of you guys as I continue to grow in this experience as a driver and show you guys what we can do with this car, upgrading with Whiteline suspension. We've got more upgrades coming on the way. Parts are showing up as I'm editing this video.
Now, all that being said, I'm super excited to continue sharing with you guys the whole experience of building, racing, and enjoying this car as I discover what I can really do with this thing. Make sure you guys are following on Instagram to get new updates on what we're doing. Make sure you guys are subbed here on YouTube. Drop a comment what your favorite part of the video was. And until the next time, thanks for watching.